Our content this week is 7 steps to keep momentum. 7 steps to keep momentum. These are from Tony Robbins. A lot of times what happens is we have really good intentions. We get really excited about what we want to accomplish. But then after we're doing it for 2 to 3 weeks, we start to lose that energy and our momentum starts to fade. So you have to figure out how to keep momentum, whether you're an agent and you're out there working or whether you're a staff working for an agent. You've got to figure out how to maintain your momentum. And momentum does not come from outside sources. It comes from inside of you. You're the person that causes momentum, nobody else. So 7 steps to keep momentum. Number 1, get clear. Get clear. You must first gain clarity about where you are currently. You have to figure out where you are now so you can figure out where you're going next. I remember when I was in high school, I used to drive a truck for my uncle delivering, and I used to get lost real bad. You know, I still get lost pretty bad, but I used to get lost real bad, and I would call him, and he would always ask me, tell me the intersection that you're at. And I would tell him the road, the 2 roads, and then he would tell me where to go based on where I was. So getting clear simply means figure out where you are currently so that you can figure out where you want to go next. We're almost at the end of April. So reflect. What did you accomplish in the first 90 days of this year? What did you get done? What did you do that you're proud of? What did you do that you're excited about? What things do you need to duplicate and make sure you're doing in the next 90 days? I was talking to Kyle Cater yesterday, and he mentioned this. He said, one of the things that I noticed, and he said, I do the same thing. The things that I did to get to a certain place, I stopped doing those because I think I've gotten better, and I slowed down on my activity where I need to keep doing what I was doing while adding other things to it. So what did you do in the first 90 days that was successful that we need to keep doing? But then also, what things do you need to change from the last 90 days? What things in the last 90 days that you're not pleased with? It doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you need to change them. So whether you're a staff or an agent, let's just say you're a staff. In the last 90 days, what did you do that you're not proud of and you wish you could do differently? So now that we've identified it, let's change it. Let's make a change going in the next 90 days. You're only a failure if you reproduce your failures. If you learn from them and you change, that's not failure. That's actually called success. Every great thing that's done in this country has been done because somebody failed at some point and they didn't repeat it, they changed. And so that's the secret to you keeping momentum is, first of all, figure out where you're at and what you want to change so you can move forward. Number 2, get certain. Get certain. Create certainty about your capacity to take your goals and make them realities. Create certainty about your capacity to take your goals and make them realities. What's the word capacity mean? It means this: your ability to achieve success. You need to understand that you have everything that you need to be successful. You just have to choose to utilize it. Whether you're staff or agent, you have everything that you need. You have to utilize it. So look at your capacity to take your goals and make them realities. If Andy was sitting right here right now, he would pull out a coin, and that coin would say, what do you want and how do you get it? It's as simple as that. What do you want and how do you get it? So what are the action steps that you need to take to guarantee that you'll hit your goals? What things do you need to do to make sure you'll hit your goals? Because reaching your goals are simply you doing the activities on a weekly basis to make sure you arrive at that point. I was just listening to a guy earlier today, and he said this. He said your long-term goals are who you will become, but your short-term goals are what you do. And when you pile up what your do's over and over again, it changes who you become. So what are the action steps that you need to take to guarantee you hit your goal? Number 3, get excited. Get excited. Decide what it is you want. Pick it out. If you don't have a clear goal, it makes it really difficult for you to fight through the obstacles because there's no reason to actually push you through. So write down your goals. What do you want in the next 90 days? What do you want in the next 30 days? And what do you want in the next 7 days? Make those clear. Not all of them are going to be a premium number. Some of them may be a recruit number. Some of them may be a weight loss number. Some of them may be a book number. I was talking to a guy the other day, and I asked him what one of his goals was, and it was to read 3 books in the next 90 days. That is an awesome goal. I asked him how he's going to accomplish it, and he said he wasn't sure. All you have to do is take the steps. If you want to read 3 books, choose the books and split them up over 90 days. Make action steps to achieve your goals. Your goals are very simple if you plan on hitting them. Number 4 is get focused. Decide where you want to place your emphasis. Decide where you want to place your emphasis. Oh, I forgot on get excited. Oh, one of the things, so I have 3 children, and they're beautiful little terrorists that I love to death, and they are crazy as I'll get out. One of the things that we do is if we're going somewhere, we're going to do something special, we don't tell my children until the morning of, because they would drive us insane. If we say we're going to Grandma and Grandpa's house and we're going on Friday, we don't tell them until Friday right before we leave. Because if we tell them on Monday, they'll talk to us about it Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. Last time we told them we were going to Grandma's house on Friday, my 6-year-old packed her bag on Monday and placed it at the door. She was extremely far ahead. Their excitement level helps keep their vision on what they want. And a lot of times what we do as adults, we don't get excited about anything because we have no vision of what we want. So you should have a dream board. I know a lot of times we did that as a kid, and then when we get older, we think it's weird. It's not weird anymore. That's normal. You should be able to see what it is you want. And other people shouldn't get to choose what your dreams are. You should have them listed out so you can be excited about them on a regular basis. As we get older, we stop being urgent about our dreams like we were when we were a child, and then that's why we don't hit our dreams. All right, but back to number 4, get focused. Decide where you need to place emphasis. One of the abilities you need to develop is to make sure you're focusing on the right things. Because a lot of people display a high level of focus. It just happens to be on the wrong area. And one of the saddest things that can happen is you pour your blood, sweat, and tears into something only to realize you were focusing on the wrong thing. You were trying to accomplish the wrong thing. It's like, I remember I went into a corn maze one time. And by the way, them things are terrifying. I don't think I'll ever do them again. But I did one when I was in college. And I remember getting so frustrated. It was dark. I didn't want to be in there. And I decided this is the path, and we're going down that path. We're going down that path. And when we get to the end, it's extremely frustrating because that was not the right way. So we have to backtrack all the way back. That's what lack of focus does. Lack of focus takes you to a dead end, and then you have to backtrack. So you've got to make sure that your focus is right. Whatever it is you're doing, whether you're an agent or a staff, if you're an agent, you got to make sure you're focusing on income-producing activities because it's very easy to get caught up in organizing all of your folders. Your folders being organized is very helpful. Does it produce income for you? Not like making phone calls does. So you have to make sure that you're focused on the right thing. If you're a staff person, you may spend a week and really work really hard at accomplishing something, but at the end of the week, if your employer doesn't deem that to be important, you are focused, but focused on the wrong things. It doesn't help you. So you've got to make sure your focus is right. Go through your goals and circle the ones that are most important. What are the goals that you have that if you accomplish, they'll impact your life? And what are the goals that you have that if you accomplish it, no, it's not really going to change your life? And focus on the ones that will make an impact. Number 5, get committed. Get committed. Decide why you will achieve this no matter what. Hey, I want you to take each goal that you have, and I want you to write a sentence or 2 beside it as to why that goal is important to you and how it'll change you if you accomplish it. Here's what I understand. Reasons come before answers. You may be able to give me an answer to a goal, but if you can't tell me the reason why it's important to you, you won't be able to tell your problems or obstacles either. It'll interfere and it'll stop you. Why do people not accomplish their goals? I think because they don't know why they want them. They're clear enough why as to why it's important. So when a storm comes in front, the storm is bigger than the goal. So if you can articulate it if I challenge you on why that's important to you and you can express to me why it's important, you have a better shot of overcoming your goal. What are some things that you may need to do that you don't want to do in order to achieve those goals? You've got to sit down and look at it. Maybe your goal is to write 10,000 in the next 7 days. What are some of the things that you need to do, you may not want to do, but in order to write 10,000 in the next 7 days? I'd ask you this question. What's more important? You not having to do the thing you don't want to do, or the 10,000? Because if you can put them side by side, things I don't want to do, the 10,000, which one's more important? If the 10,000 is more important and you can articulate that, it's easier to do the things that you don't want to do, because you simply made a choice of what's more important and committed to it. Number 6, get momentum. Tony Robbins says this: never leave the site of setting a goal without taking some action towards attainment. You must take immediate action. What that means is if I set a goal today, what am I going to do immediately following in order to start implementing that? A lot of times we set goals and then we say, all right, Monday I'm going to get to work on them. Monday's already too late. If I set a goal at 2 o'clock, 2:01 is when I start working on the goal. Right after I set the goal. Here's some things you ask. Decide now, what is one small thing that you can do now that will go immediately towards achieving your goal? What is one small thing? So if I set a goal, what's one thing I can do immediately right now to achieve that goal? Then a big decision. What is one big decision that I need to work on in the next 48 hours to help me achieve that goal? So I've set my goal. Now let me go ahead and start momentum. The myth behind momentum is you have to wait for it to come. That's not true. Momentum is created by you when you set your goal and you immediately start making choices towards that goal. Momentum is not anything that you have to sit back and just hope one day it swings by your way. You can choose momentum by choosing your actions. Andy said earlier on the call, miracles happen to those that are working. An activity called miracles happen to those that are working. That simply means the people that are putting in the effort, they look like they have momentum. Why? Because they're working. So start making those choices now. Number 7, then we'll be done. Get smart. Measure yourself. To make sure you follow through, you have to get smart and measure yourself consistently. That means when you set that goal, go ahead and set up a time where you're going to look and review and reflect to see if you're accomplishing what you want to accomplish, to see how you're doing. When we drive somewhere to go on a trip, there's always road markers that tell us that we're almost there, we're halfway there. What you're doing is you're setting up road markers to your success. So measure yourself. The more you measure something, the better it gets. Because what happens is as you're measuring it, you're seeing flaws and you correct them. We've heard the saying, out of sight, out of mind. When you're not thinking about it, it naturally begins to decay. So that means you have to consistently work on it, focus on it, and work at it so you continually improve. Resolve now to measure your specific progress daily and weekly. Judge yourself daily and judge yourself weekly. So, recap on 7 steps to keep momentum by Tony Robbins. Get clear. Know exactly where you're at, where you want to go. Get certain. Know the steps you need to take in order to achieve them. Get excited. Visualize and have a vision of what that looks like. Get focused. Make sure you're focused on the things that are most important. Get committed. Write out your reasons as to why you need to accomplish this. Get momentum. Start now on the steps that you need to do in order to accomplish this goal, and get smart. Constantly measure yourself so you can get better. Constantly measure what you're doing to improve. You have the opportunity to always be improving, or you have the opportunity to always be decaying. You get to choose. Nobody gets to choose it for you. So whether you're an agent or whether you're an employee for a President's Club member, you get to make that decision. And so I would encourage you to display excellence in every single thing that you do, not just the things that you want to do. Give your best effort. Abraham Lincoln, I'll try to say this quote right, but Abraham Lincoln said, I am not bound to success, but I am bound to the light that I've received. In other words, that means I'm not bound to be successful. I don't have to be successful, but I am responsible for the education and the experience that I've received. So you're not required to be successful, but you are required to be faithful. And faithful doesn't mean just showing up. Faithful means showing up and giving it your best. Whether right now you're working from home for your employer or you're working from the office, whether you're going to see clients face to face or doing things over the phone, faithful means doing everything you're supposed to do and doing it with your best ability at all times. That is how you get momentum. That's how you sustain momentum. Thank you for being on the call. We'll see you again next week.